Hey everybody, it's Dave from Projector People. I am super duper excited today. We have a 2-for-1 video for you. We are so happy to present to you the brand new UHD 4K units from Optoma. We have the UHD60 and we have the UHD65. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about the 60 first. So this is a 3000 lumen ultra high def 4K unit. Both these units are using the new Texas Instruments This thing is an amazing processor, micro mirror processor that creates 8.3 million pixels on the screen. So for all intents and purposes, this is native 4K, or as close as your eye can ever tell. It's 3840 by 2160. There's no pixel shifting going on. This is super crisp resolution that you'll see in the pictures and video that Danny's going to capture. So this is the 3000 lumen unit, the 60 UHD60, it's white, which will blend in really nice. This is a great unit for a living room, somewhere where there's some ambient light, because the 3000 lumens are going to be fantastic at combating that, but it would also work really nice in a dedicated media room as well. It has 3 different lamp settings, and 4,000 hours out of the box for the lamp, up to 15,000 hours in dynamic mode. So you can really get a lot of lamp life from this unit. It has dual HDMI, one of which is HDMI 2.2, and it has an HDMI MHL. So you can run your Fire Stick or your Chromecast or those devices and power it through that. This unit is a RGB CY color wheel. So it's a Rec 709 color space. We looked at this right before we shot this video, and the color was just amazing. It was beautiful. We'll talk about the rest of the inputs on this thing in just a minute. But 1,000,000:1 contrast. Okay. Like I said, 4K, HDR. Both of these are HDR 10 compatible. That's the Rec 2020 color space, wide color gamut. 1.6 times zoom on both units, and a vertical lens shift of 15%. So these are really deluxe home theater units. They are both DLP, and they're amazing. I'm not going to mention actual price because we're not positive about the price yet, though I will say you can expect these units to come in around $2,500 or under. This one's going to be a little bit less than the 65, but we will update you as soon as we have an actual hard price point. Regardless, that's an amazing segment for 4K. When just a year ago, we were looking at 4K that was $10,000 or more. So this is a great time to be in a home projection, and if 4K really matters to you, there's never been a better time to buy. So let's talk about the 65. The 65 is more of a dedicated home theater unit. For your media spaces, your man caves in the basement, your dark rooms. It's got a black chassis, so it blends in really nice. 2200 lumens, I think I mentioned that. 1.2 million to 1 contrast. As if 1 million to 1 wasn't enough, 1.2 million to 1. This also has a 6-segment color wheel, RGB color wheel. So we should expect a little bit of color improvements in this. I've not looked at them side by side yet. This has a LAN port additionally inside. So if you have a local area network that you need connectivity for, then this is probably going to be the way you go. Other than that, they're basically identical. Oh, and this also has a motion view kind of a setting. So if you're watching film footage that's usually shot at 24 frames per second, this will smooth out some of those action frames. We've seen that before in some other units, reality creation and things like that. Frame interpolation, though this isn't exactly the same, it will offer some smoothing for those scenes. So if you're watching a lot of action movies or a lot of high-intensity sports, this may be a better unit to go with if you don't want to see any of that shudder or judder, though I'm sure they're both going to perform amazing. Let's take a look at the inputs on the back. We have a audio out up at the top. We have an optical out, which is actually pretty cool. You don't see that a lot on projectors. So if you wanted to go directly into the projector from a source like a Blu-ray player and then send out to your stereo system, you could do that. Oh, these these units also have speakers, which sound pretty good. So I forgot to mention that. We have USB, which is primarily for firmware updates and stuff like that. We have your 12-volt triggers, your audio outs. You have your dual HDMI ports, one of which is HDMI 2.2. You have your VGA, you have your RJ45, your RS232 inputs, and then your power. And then you have your Kensington lock if you need that for any reason. And then, well, we'll show you that in just a second. Let's look at the UHD65 things. We have our USB service port up here. Again, the optical out. You have your 12-volt trigger, your USB for firmware, your audio in, your audio outs. Those are your 3.5 millimeter jacks. Your VGA for your computer or laptop inputs. Your dual HDMIs. Forgot to mention on both these projectors, one of these HDMIs is MHL powered, so you can run your Fire Stick or your Chromecast or those type of devices from there. You have your RS232 for control, your RJ45 for your inputs, networks, and your power switch and your Kensington lock. So you are good to go there. And here we have our zoom right here, zoom, 1.6 times zoom, and your lens shift. So that's your vertical lens shift, which goes 15 degrees up or down. Hey everybody, it's Dave from Projector People. I am super duper excited today. We have a 2-for-1 video for you. We are so happy to present to you the brand new UHD 4K units from Optoma. We have the UHD60 and we have the UHD65. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about the 60 first. So this is a 3000 lumen ultra high def 4K unit. Both these units are using the new Texas Instruments this thing is an amazing processor, micro mirror processor that creates 8.3 million pixels on the screen. So for all intents and purposes,